So this is, your method of working is quite interesting. It is purely collaborative. And in a sense, you're looking for ordinary people. But I suspect they're not ordinary because they're responding to an ad in the newspaper to have themselves photographed. It's quite interesting because, particularly with this project, it showed me that lots of people read the classifieds.
Yeah, I'm surprised. They're not a fading medium by any far. So, yeah, I guess I think they're ordinary people just wanting to have a photograph. I don't see them as extraordinary or whatever. They're just people who see an ad and think, well, might give that a go. Just like you might see a class to do yoga or something you haven't tried, or maybe skydiving, or I don't know, something, or yeah, any sort of form. But what maybe I find interesting is the conversations that go along in the shoots, and to draw out that sense of themselves, and that it ends up being quite quirky sometimes. And I think ordinarily this wouldn't happen if I wasn't pushing the point of making this artwork. Yeah, it might happen in another sense, but it might not be shown in the gallery and to an audience that wouldn't see it. So
the work is very engaging, and certainly by looking at the photographs that your older work and talking about the people, it's fascinating the backstory and how they came to be in that situation. Have you continued connections with any of those people, or are they basically part of that process and you move forward?
Usually it's just for the project, and then yeah, we move forward. But some of them will come back and contact me and say, I want to do another shoot or something like that, or can I get those images? I'm putting my portfolio together, or I want to hang it on my wall. But more and more I see that it's more about the chance or the performance element of being in a photo shoot. Especially some of the older works, or not the sort of the younger generation, sort of the older ones of just having a photo shoot.
You talk about new media, social media, etc. And certainly people can take photographs anywhere with a phone, etc. And so the digital has become incredibly ubiquitous and part of life. You actually shoot on film. You shoot on medium format cameras. So in many respects, there's an element to your work that is really like a travelling photographer coming into a place and photographing people. Why choose to shoot on film in this day and age?
I was taught that way, and I really love the quality of film. I really can't afford the digital camera that would give me the same quality at the moment. And more and more I like the slowness of film and what the process of it, you have to take the roll of film out, and then you can still have a conversation with the person. You're not clicking away, and sort of you start to find out exactly what this person, how they want to present themselves. It lets that downtime, lets them relax a bit more. And I might see something that I like that I might say, we'll go back to that pose or something like that.
So in a sense, when you photograph them, you have a sort of studio setup. Essentially, you have lights and a camera. So in many respects, that is quite confronting in terms of what we expect of photography these days. To go to that trouble is, very much a professional kind of setup. So did you feel that people didn't expect that, and maybe their intention had to change?
I think a lot of them are like, you're still using film. Wow. What's that camera? I think it's more than just them being in front of a lens. It doesn't really change it that much, although it allows me to figure out exactly what they want out of it, and it works for me, so I'll just keep continuing with it. But or they do say, are you going to Photoshop that? And yes, I can Photoshop it, but I don't want to mess with it too much. And that's the beauty of film. You probably don't want to mess with it too much because you lose that quality. So, yeah.
So in many respects, living and working in the digital realm means that we can change things. I think with film, you get what you get. Sure, you can go through then a digital process that can change it, but there's something really honest about film. You can't really kind of mess around with it. Once that exposure happens, it happens, and you get the end result.
Usually some shoots might go for 4 or 5 hours if it's not actually working for me. And it is a negotiation. And I do have in the back of my mind what I sort of want, but I find it's kind of interesting just learning more about them, because I'm only really meeting them for that sort of first time, other than we've talked on the phone or we've emailed. I've seen images of themselves that they've emailed me, but I don't know, it's my nature. I can't just go directly, no, this is how it is, this is what I want, because part of my making of the work is that sort of push and pull, and sort of that chance moment. And they might do it when you're changing the film, and then you'll go back to it and say, oh, that angle really worked. But some shoots haven't worked, and I haven't used the work. Which is, but mostly they do. I get something out of it, and I get what I want, and they get what they want. So. For the couples and the single portraits, I got a varied age range, and you would think you'd get more females than males, but it was quite even. But this particular shoot for Dubbo, Take Your Best Shot, I put an ad out for females. So. The controversy around my work was, quite unexpected. I didn't think I was going into an area in the countryside. Hunting is a big part of being in the country. And the response I got to my ads was quite a lot, but people were interested to present themselves as hunters. So, there's always for and against things, and not everyone likes every part of society. I guess, this has shown, this particular work is just, this subject matter has only been really shown in hunting magazines. So bringing it out there to another audience, sort of similar to what Diane Albus was interested in, the things that people weren't looking at, and people weren't looking at. So there's a good link. Yeah.
I mean, your work is definitely quite different to the way that women are presented within hunting culture. Anyone that has seen Babes and Boars and the kind of publications that are produced, it has an exploitative edge to it. In many respects, your work is about giving the subject the power to present them at themselves as they wish to be presented, rather than through the male gaze or someone else. Did you find that they were kind of excited about that prospect of being able to present themselves, and did they see it as kind of aspirational in the sense that they wanted to show themselves how they want to be?
I think because I don't tell them what to wear, I don't tell them, I sort of say, well, whatever you go hunting with, that's fine, and you present yourself how you want to do it. Gives them more creative control, and allows them the work to be more honest, in my opinion, because I'm not totally directing them like a movie sort of, pose here, wear this, your hair has to be done this way. So it allows them to have a nice portrait of themselves and enjoy the process. And Yeah.
I suspect there wouldn't be the controversy if you were a painter.
Or a male painter. That's the thing, like, you don't know what your controversy was. Like, was it because it was hunting? Was it because it was women? Was it because it was you as a woman photographing this? Like, it was really difficult to understand what people's issues were. It was all sort of really mangled. You know, no one really had a clear... But it was great, though, to have had that passion come out from the community.
Yeah, I did an interview with Triple J's HAT program, and their audience is quite a young, mainly of the sort of age of the women who have answered my ad and who are being models. And that sparked 600 comments on their Facebook page, and it was very varied, like, you know, taking it to a whole nother level of, yeah, this is animal cruelty, and but, you know, this is survival. Some people do this for survival. So there was all these multifaceted areas, which is good in one sense if they can just focus on the art and have those discussions, not personally attack the models and me. Yeah, so after we've done the shot, it takes me a little while to scan them all, but when I've scanned them all, I send them, sort of, I take out the ones that totally didn't work and then sort of say, this is what I liked, what do you think? And then they'll come back to me with the thoughts, and then we decide on the final one. And yeah, sometimes it's nailed it down to 3 or 2 or 1, but yeah. So it's those conversations still continue, and yeah.
Can I just ask if in terms of the choice of the size of the photograph, you were mentioning Sander before, whose photos are actually really small. Is size something you think about?
Yeah, it's funny, when I saw Sander's work in the art gallery in New South Wales, I was expecting big work, but these tiny little black and whites, and that's maybe photography from then on started to get bigger and bigger, and then the Gregory Crewson's big movie stills, Billboard, Jeff Wall's show on at the MCA at the moment. I think I like my certain size. You can't go too big, but I want you to be on one-on-one with the portrait, and sort of it has to be semi sort of lifestyle, life size. Yeah, I think and beauty of film is when you blow it up that big, you can still have good clarity in it. So
what size are they?
They're usually about 1 metre by 80 centimetres. Yeah, that's a really good point, and part of Kent's work and the team at Dubbo Gallery is the public programs and how we present the work, and we have kept a record of all those comments and discussions, and I know Kent's been screenshotting a lot, so we've got a lot of information, and it is Kent could probably speak more about Dubbo's collection is around animals, so it will tie in well with the gallery's mission.
I think in many respects for us, and for Emmett as well, it was really important to continue the project as it was perceived from the beginning. And in many respects there was, with the controversy, there was certainly things that we couldn't ignore, but in many respects it did mean really focusing on what we aim to set out to do. There obviously is a lot of planning to be done between now and the exhibition next year, but in many respects the project is about portraiture, in particular of women who partake in a particular activity, and yeah, so in many respects it'll be quite interesting to see how the show actually pans out next year.